Harry Dunn there, the Whitby Town manager.
Whitby Town Club Shop update.
I'm very pleased to say that our very own Club Shop operative himself, George Osbourne, joins me. Good evening, George.
Good evening to you, Goose.
Nice to have you with us as always. And here to tell us about some more bargains to be found in the Club Shop.
Well, we've just been overtaken by events after last night. Our friend from South Yorkshire, Andy, was doing as a batch of badges to commemorate 8+3 for 09/10. And anybody who knows Whitby, they'll know that means 8 postponements, 3 abandonments in season 9/10. But after last night, he's got to do them all again because he's now 9+3.
I mean, we've been asking Harry Dunn this question for a while on the Codcast. Obviously, you've been watching football for a good few years, George. Have you ever known a season like this?
No, genuinely. I came to football about 52 years ago. Gives me age away a bit. In all that time, I remember one season in '67, somewhere in the '60s, the first introduction of orange balls and lines painted red at Barnsley's ground at Oakwell.
Lines painted red?
Lines painted red. They actually went over the snow. It was a fantastic game. I remember Rotherham, my team then, didn't get a game in for about 8 weeks. But I can honestly say I don't think I've ever come across a weirder season than we've had this time round.
And I mean, not just that, of course, also the floodlight issues.
Yeah.
It's utterly crazy.
It takes some believing, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. So
I can proudly say I've attended all 3 abandonments. And I hasten to state that I am not, and I repeat, not part of a Malaysian betting syndicate.
It's good to get out of the way, George, because that was going to be my next question.
I thought it might be.
Okay. Of course, there's Andy's badges as well. You've also had a great deal of Arsenal and Sunderland shirts.
Yes, a very kind gentleman donated about best part of a dozen, perhaps even more shirts to us. And when I investigated, they were all in excellent condition. In fact, almost brand new as far as I could see. The interesting thing is they were in a lot of them were in children's sizes, and they obviously support Arsenal and Sunderland. I think the gentleman's name was Raper. I think his son who wore them was Sam. I do hope I've got the names right, but they know who they are, and thank you very much. And they did attract some attention the first time we put them on hangers in the shop. Okay,
George. So, I mean, is this a variety of different coloured shirts as well, or many on the same design?
No, they tend to ring the changes. The young man seems to have had, if he's had the home, he's had the away, and if he's had the away, he's had the third strip kind of thing. So we were grateful recipients, and I'm sure they'll make a few bob for the club.
I don't believe it! I do not believe it!
Well, believe it, because on Saturday the 10th of April, for the Whitby versus Durham City match, there will be no regular admission price at the turnstiles, as this match is being deemed for spectators as a pay what you wish day. You decide how much you want to pay to get in, and you pay it. It's as simple as that. So start believing on Saturday the 10th of April for Pay What You Wish Day at Whitby Town.
You cannot be serious! I do not believe it!
Excellent, George, excellent. And of course, with Easter around the corner, is there any special bargains in place for Friday's game against Nantwich?
Well, we've got all the badges. Andy's doing a lot of badges for us. Team badges this time.
Mm-hmm.
We're hoping people will be interested. These are cheap enough to lose and come back and buy another one. They're only £2 each, so we're hoping people will take advantage. We've a load of non-Whitby Town shirts in now that often attracts attention, and if people are into football shirts, I can assure them they're all very good quality, very good condition, and newly washed. I'll not say they're new because they're not, but they are in excellent condition.
Okay, George, and I gather Andy's also thrown things open to members of the Whitby Town Fans Forum to name their own badges.
Yes, he has indeed. He's willing to do one-offs up to, and I know he's had a couple of orders. I'm very pleased for him. He's had a couple of orders for things like stag parties and so on. If anybody's interested, he is very, very reasonable, very approachable, very skilled with what he's done for us. And if anybody wants to pop in the shop and have a word with us, I'm sure we can sort something out. And I hasten to add, anything he does for the Whitby Town shop, and I must stress this, he takes no money for them, won't even take cost, does them because he loves Whitby, and all the money raised goes to Whitby Town Football Club.
Excellent, George. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Can I just add one thing?
Yep.
We've got 3 games left at home, postponements notwithstanding.
Yep.
Summer's coming. The club has to keep going through the summer. We need income. If anybody wants to come and spend a few bob in the last 3 games, very glad to see them. Made very welcome.
Okay, George, thank you very much. And of course, our next home game is Friday afternoon, Good Friday, Nantwich Town. And of course, then we have the Pay What You Like game against Durham City a week on Saturday.
That's the one. That's the big one.
Yes,
for various reasons.
Okay, George. Well, thank you very much for joining us. And
thank you, Goose. Thanks for asking.
Excellent.
Take care, mate.
Thank you. And you, George. George Osbourne from the Whitby Town Club Shop there. And don't forget that after Friday's game against Nantwich, that the Blues take the cross-country trip over to Cumbria to take on Kendal. I'm sure we've had at least 2 or 3 postponements to this fixture already. The sat-nav code is LA97BL. That's LA97BL. And the kick-off is the usual 3 o'clock. And the admission is £8 for adults, £4 for OAPs, and £2 for under-16s. And then the Blues have a rearranged game, of course, from last Tuesday when the rain came at Frickley. And they're back at Frickley the following Wednesday. That's right, £8 for adults, £5 for OAPs, and £3 for under-16s. But very importantly, if you have your ticket stubs from the first game that was abandoned at half-time, you'll get in for half price. So it would just be £4 for adults, £2.50 OAPs, £1.50 for under-16s. That's at Frickley Athletic. And for those that aren't travelling with the Whitby Town Football Club, the postcode is WF92EQ. But make sure you stay tuned to the Whitby Gazette and the Whitby Town Forum for details of when the supporters coach leaves Whitby Town, bound for Kendal on Monday and Frickley on Wednesday. We'll be back to check on our marathon fixtures, 4 games in 8 days for the Blues. We'll be keeping track on the Codcast. Good night.
Premier League Radio in a Premier League city. Sunderland.